Thank you very much, Ann, and thank each one of you, women employed, for having me here today. I'm very proud to be honored by the women employed, and I want to thank women employed and everyone here who helped to make sure that the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act became law. And you're right, and it's been a long, hard fight on my part, and I never did it so much about the money as it was about what was right. The law was on my side all of the way, and when I lost in the Supreme Court, I could not let it go. But as many of you know, my struggle was about timing, at least on the surface. 30 years ago, I went to work for Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company in Gadsden, Alabama as a supervisor. Toward the end of my career, I began to suspect that I wasn't getting paid as much as the men doing the same jobs. Of course, it was hard to be sure because at Goodyear, payroll and pay was a big secret and you didn't talk about it. If you did, you would not work there. But an anonymous person left a note in my mailbox at work showing my pay and 3 of my male peers. We were doing the exact same job, and I was getting paid much less than they were. And that's when I knew I had been the victim of pay discrimination for a few decades. It turns out that I was earning 70% of what my male colleagues were getting. And they gave me lower raises over and over and over. And as you can imagine, those added up over the years and made a big difference. I thought about just moving on. But in the end, I could not let Goodyear get away with it. That turned out to be a life-changing decision for me. If you'd have told me then that I would have ended up in the Supreme Court and that Congress would have passed a law with my name on it and that I would be standing next to the president when he signed it, I'd have said someone had let the air out of one of your tires. But that's the path that I started down when I brought my lawsuit. I filed the charge in early 1998 before I retired. The EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Center, called in late '98 and said I had one of the best cases they'd ever seen. I might want to get a lawyer, which I did in 1999. We got into federal court in '03. We got to the Supreme Court in November of '06. And we got the verdict in May of '07. The president signed the bill in '09. So 11 years of my life has been working toward that goal. But at trial, when we got to the federal court, the jury of my peers agreed with me that Goodyear had broken the law and awarded me $3.8 million in back pay, mental anguish, and punitive damages. That was enough, I hoped, that Goodyear would feel the sting and think and learn the lesson. The trial judge reduced the award to $300,000 because of the statutory cap on civil rights damages. Don't ask me what that is. All I know is that it made discrimination a lot less pricey and painful for Goodyear. But then, the Supreme Court, by one vote, just one vote, they took it all away, even the back pay, saying that I should have filed my complaint within 6 months of the original act of discrimination. even though I had no way of knowing about it, let alone having enough evidence to complain at the time. Now, as some of you may remember, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was not pleased. And in her dissent, she hit the nail on the head. She wrote that the court's majority ruling makes no sense in the real world. People do not go around asking their co-workers, how much money are you making? Or how much money are you making? And even if someone did make a little more than you did, that's not any indication that you're being discriminated against based on your sex or color or whatever.